Well, the wounds are still fresh for loved ones. 1 year after 34-year-old Byron Ferguson perished in a plane crash. Now authorities have released a report citing exactly what took place on that fateful night, the reason behind it, and what must happen to avoid a recurrence. Makush Lapinder has the story.
A loss of control in flight, an uncontrolled collision with the ocean cited as the reason behind Byron Ferguson's fatal plane crash last November. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Department making that public in its final report into the incident. Further findings were that there was no evidence of a weight and balance for the aircraft and its cargo. The 34-year-old Ferguson held a valid airline transport pilot license with single and multi-engine land and instrument ratings, along with a valid first-class medical with no limitations or waivers attached, and that weather was not a contributing factor. It was also determined that it would be reasonable to expect a survival time frame of at least 5 days after the incident. One must consider, though, that the pilot's medical or physical condition, whether he sustained injuries or was conscious after the accident, was not known in the aftermath of what would have been a forceful impact with the ocean. Ferguson's Piper Aztec left the West Palm Beach County Park Airport on November 8, 2018 at approximately 7:26 p.m. en route to the Lynden Pinling International Airport. On board was a load of cargo. The pilot, however, reported to the Nassau air traffic controller he was experiencing an engine malfunction, shortly after which the aircraft disappeared from radar coverage. It was later discovered that the plane had crashed approximately 2.3 nautical miles from the approach end of LPIA's runway 14. The aircraft sank. Meantime, the 406 megahertz emergency locator transmitter activated on impact with the ocean. The report cited that search efforts continued for days. However, they were hampered due to inclement weather. 8 days after the accident, components of the aircraft, as well as additional cargo believed to be from the aircraft, were located by concerned civilians near Havana Beach. According to the report, the recovered components were submerged in approximately 60 feet of water. Now, in terms of recommendations, it suggested the government designate an appropriate entity to perform search and rescue services, that it grants the Bahamas Civil Aviation Authority to provide oversight of the designated search and rescue entity, and that a rescue coordination center in support of provision of search and that rescue services be established. Parliamentarians recently passed the Aircraft Accident Investigation Authority bill. The authority would have responsibility for investigating civil aviation accidents and incidents. For the ZNS News Network, I'm Makush Lapinder.